The question presented here is one she doesn't even address, but it's the only issue really in dispute, which is, can a former president say that this document, an executive privilege, precludes executive branch agents who are looking into whether a crime was committed from reviewing those documents? It's too early to say that they're going to try to put those documents before a grand jury. There's no contemplation right now or proposal to put it outside the executive branch. So her decision is premature, and the dispute isn't over whether this document is potentially executive privilege and this one isn't. That's not the dispute. The dispute is whether the president, even if it is executive privilege, can the president bar DOJ from reviewing the documents? And the answer to that, I think, is clearly no.
So you're saying that that only comes into play if you're going to put those documents before a grand jury.
Right.
So that in this venue, this period of this investigation, within the executive branch, there's no ability for the president to say, I brought these with me, they're my papers, I have every right to keep them at the house if I want to keep them at the house, and you can't look at them, Department of Justice.
Totally wrong, totally wrong. The other thing that people are missing here is this case is very unlike most of these disputes on executive privilege. Usually it's the content of the communication that is the evidence. Let's say someone in the Oval Office says, you know, we can do this if we do that, and there's a discussion of a potential crime. So they want to take the actual content and use it as evidence. That's not the situation here. All the government has to show is that these documents they're not going to take that valuable content, that sensitive stuff, and put it before a grand jury, but they should be able to review it. For example, maybe they could redact that document and take out the sensitive stuff so the jury can see, yes, it was sensitive,
But you don't think it's ever going to get to that point? You say you don't see them, the Department of Justice, trying to prosecute this case because it's a former president, because of the time period?
No, what I've said is, I think that even if they can technically make the case, that there's another step, which is prudentially, do they want to do it? Because it's a former president and its impact on the country. I hope they don't do it. But, you know, the law here, I think, is pretty clear that the Justice Department should be able to review these documents. If it got to the point where they wanted to actually put the documents before the grand jury without sanitizing them and protecting the deliberative process, then you would litigate the issue. But for her to come in now and sort of this abstract thing and say this guy's going to decide what is potentially privileged dodges the question, which is, does the president have standing to assert the privilege against the existing administration?